everybody. It's Sarcasm Speaks, Jared and Bob. So I think this is the first time in a little while we haven't had a guest. I don't know. Our schedule has been all over the place, but we had some golf today. The one of the good things I think you can say. I certainly, some people might argue otherwise, but one of the good things I think, at least, about golf that happens overseas is that the whole tournament was over at like 2:00 today. So granted, if it's Thursday, Friday, if it's the first two rounds and the guy you want to watch is teeing off at 1:58 a.m., that's obviously not ideal. Or even like 3:30 a.m. Like, that's still not ideal. But you'll at least get them on the other end on the next day, you know what I mean? Because for anyone that doesn't follow golf, they do opposite tee times on Thursdays and Fridays. So if you play early on Thursday, you play late on Friday, and vice versa. And then if you get into the weekend and you kind of are sucking, you're going to play early. But I personally like golf that happens in Europe in particular, because like I said, I got up this morning and turned the TV on and we had golf. And then, like I said, the whole tournament was over and Cam Smith won, took the claret jug at like 2:03 p.m. our time. So, can't beat that, right? I mean, you still got most of the day. Like, I watched the whole tournament, and then after it was over, we went out, like we went to BJ's, we went to Target, like we hit a couple, you know what I mean? Like, we did some errands and then came back and then was like, all right, I guess I should start getting ready to make dinner. It's like there's no like oh shit, like I don't want to eat yet because like I'm going to be eating right as they're finishing. So I like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, between that and then primetime golf, when it gets over at like 9:00 our time.
Yeah.
That isn't bad either.
Right. Yeah, that's West Coast, right? When they're out there.
Yeah, pretty much just California though.
Yeah. What's the deal with Hawaii when they play in Hawaii? It's basically like they must go till like fucking midnight our time.
I don't know. Truthfully, that's usually still during football season, so I don't watch a ton.
Yeah. But I would imagine Hawaii's got to be like 10 hours behind us.
10 hours behind.
Maybe a little bit less. I don't know. California is 3 hours behind us.
Yep.
So then just double it. So maybe Hawaii's like 6 hours behind us, because it's like a 5-hour flight from here to California. And then it's another 5-hour flight from California to Hawaii. So that's where I got the 10 hours. So it's like roughly a 10-hour flight nonstop, but they're probably only like 6 hours behind us.
Yeah. So truthfully, I don't know.
Yeah. I would imagine it would be pretty fucking late our time though.
Yeah. I mean, but they might manipulate it differently. So whereas like if it was an East Coast event, they'll have it end at 6 to give the guys time for a playoff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So California, the guys will end probably about like 5 their time. So it ends at like 8:00 here.
Yeah.
They might just they might just send everybody off at 7 a.m. or like tea time start at 7 a.m., not 10 a.m. And you said 5 hours. So if the leaders go off at like 10, that's 3:00 our time.
Yeah.
And they're done by like 8:00 our time. Like, they could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that checks out. That makes sense.
But I do not watch a lot of Hawaii golf because
yeah, it is. It's right in the middle of football season. So
they don't have the same time zone. No, I was saying, because when they play like Japan and fucking Malaysia and shit, they start coverage at like 10:00 p.m.
Yeah, well, Japan is actually tomorrow. They're across the international date line, which is like a little bit west of Hawaii.
Yeah, so I don't know. Again, I don't know what their time difference is, but
Yeah.
Like,
It truthfully, like, that's a whole thing too, right? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, we could get back to golf, but the international date line is just like this arbitrary line that everyone decided, like, when the sun hits this spot, it's a new day. Because you can live in Hawaii, and if you probably get on a boat for about 3 hours west, you then travel to the next day.
it's time travel.
Yeah, it is. It is time travel, but that's wild, right? Like, you could leave Hawaii at like noon and go 3 hours west, and then it's the next day at like, I don't know, probably like 7 a.m. Like, you just lost 15, 16 hours of time, but then you can just go back and get the time back. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That's like, I feel like I need to be high as fuck in order to like figure that one out.
Yeah, I don't, dude, not beyond my fucking pay grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to figure that shit out. That's like one, like, I know, like, usually everyone's always like, oh, the worst thing ever is this is how we've always done it. When it comes to like fucking time and stuff, just fucking leave it. Except daylight savings. We should go to permanent daylight savings time.
Yeah. Which we are.
Are we actually?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Or is this how like someone tells me, I thought Massachusetts was getting sports betting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking July 17th, and here we are. They have 2 fucking weeks to figure this out. If they don't get it done in 2 weeks, then it doesn't go through this year.
Yeah, it's not happening. That's simple. That's easy. Insane. That's the easiest thing to figure out. Massachusetts is not getting sports betting.
They established that we're going to have this committee, and then there hasn't been like a single bit of news since.
Yeah.
Like, this state fucking blows.
That's how politics work. It's like, we're going to make a committee to do some research on it, and then we'll get back to you on that research. Well, you guys going to take a vote on it? No, we're just doing the research.
Well, the committee is supposed to be figuring it out by the end of July, so they're probably looking at it like, we got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What's the hurry?
So on March 16th, I got this from Reuters. The United States Senate approves the bill to make daylight savings permanent starting in 2023. So that means we would change the clocks back this fall, and then we would change the clocks forward in March of 2023, and then we would just not touch them after that.
So who approved that?
The Senate.
So the House has to do it now?
Yeah. Oh, here's the next article below it. March 21st, 2022. The title from Yahoo News says U.S. House stops the clock on making daylight savings permanent. Well, let's see what they have to say here. So the Senate unanimously approved. Wow. That seems insane to me. But on March 15th, yep, that's the previous article, unanimously approved the measure to make daylight savings permanent starting next year. Bipartisan bill named the Sunshine Protection Act would ensure Americans will no longer have to change their clocks twice a year. But the House of Representatives is taking a much more deliberate approach. Here we go. We were unexpectedly sent this bill by the Senate. Now we're trying to absorb it. What? Excuse me? The fuck does that mean? You were unexpectedly sent this bill by the Senate. Isn't that your job, to receive the bills from the Senate? Now we're trying to absorb. What do you have to absorb? It seems pretty simple that we go from changing the clocks twice a year to just not doing it at all.
Well, if there's anything that we learned in the COVID times about bills, is that they sneak a bunch of random shit in there.
Yeah.
So they're probably going through that.
Well, definitely.
And trying to figure out how they can put their own pay raises in this bill.
Yeah. The Energy and Commerce Committee had a hearing to discuss the legislation. More hearings. This is just like corporate America. You go to a meeting
but
and you're
worse,
like,
it's fucking
and
government.
it's like, oh, that was a good meeting. That was a good meeting. Like, what? Like, I've gotten out of meetings before with people and they're like, oh, that was a good meeting. What the fuck does that mean? It was a good meeting. Like, we're not like playing a football game. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, that was a good round. That was a great round of golf. Oh, my putting, oh man, I putted off the fucking charts. Oh, it's a good meeting. What the fuck? What does that even mean?
No, no meeting is a good meeting.
Or I've had meetings where like the culmination of the meeting is that there needs to be more meetings to discuss. Now, those are some of my favorite ones. They're like, oh yeah, you and I should just connect. Let's connect offline and find a time that we both have available. It's like, oh, cool. So we just spent this meeting talking to then lead to more separate individual meetings. It's fucking
Sounds
stupid.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a great meeting. Oh, that was a good meeting. Like, fuck out of here. So it seems like
Nothing's happening.
nothing has happened. So it passed unanimously in the Senate, though. That's kind of big. That's kind of important. So the House would have to approve the bill and then send it to President Biden for his signature. The White House has not signaled whether it supports the shift. Well, I got an article from CNN of all fucking places on April 9th. Permanent daylight savings time isn't all sunshine. Could you be any more of a fucking doom and gloom website? The Sunshine Protection Act might not be what it alludes to be. Fuck off, dude.
Oh yeah, because it was racist. I remember that at one point.
Yeah, remember we did the episode talking about it, and people were legitimately being like, well, what about abductions? Like children abductions, like waiting for the bus in the morning. Do you remember we did a whole bit on that?
And then
It's like the child predator goes out in the morning and the sun comes up and they're like, oh shit, got to turn around and go home.
Yeah.
The sun's up. Like,
and then there was
it's not going to stop them.
Someone definitely called it racist, or I don't know, classist, because poor people need to walk. Poor people and minorities need to walk to school in the morning, and now they have to do it in the dark, and it's racist.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's not that dark in the morning. Because we're currently in daylight savings time, and so we would keep it permanent. It'll be light at 5:20 tomorrow morning. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah. So as of June 28th, the United States House has not moved quickly to address the Sunshine Protection Act, with the Senate passed earlier this year unanimously. It has not made it to any subcommittee agenda in the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, which would typically face the task of discussing and reviewing the plan. So it passed the Senate, again, remember, unanimously. When's the last time anything outside of like sending money to Lockheed Martin and fucking Blackstone and all these fucking companies, have they ever done anything unanimously? So then it gets to the House in March 25th, March 15th. And as of June 28th, they haven't even put it on any of the agendas yet. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I think that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. So per the Senate's bill, permanent daylight savings time would take effect November 5th, 2023. So that's when we would make the shift. So we would have one more year of the stupid clock thing and then stop. So seems really fucking stupid. But child abductions, right? So anyway, we had a major golf tournament today. To veer ourselves back to the opening topic. It was the 150th Open Championship at the home of golf, the birthplace of golf, whatever you want to call it. The first real golf course ever invented, created, built, however you want to, whatever nomenclature you want to say. St. Andrews is pretty much like the course, right? For a lot of people. And my God, it was good. I enjoyed it, first of all. I think the last like 3 or 4 holes left a lot to be desired. There were I don't know. It just felt like there were no fireworks, right? Like it was kind of like ho hum. Like I don't know. I don't know if it could have been better, right? Like the fireworks we did get didn't really kind of matter in a way, right? Because Cam Young made eagle on 18, but it was to put him in second place. So it was like, Rory kind of dinked and dunked his way around today and couldn't hit a fucking putt longer than like 12 feet. But there was nothing like I forget. I don't know what I'm trying to say. There were no like memorable moments. That's what I was going to say. There was no like big time shot, like that big putt that dropped, that nothing. It was like, I think Cam Smith took the lead just by making like a great shot into the green and then hitting a good putt. Like it wasn't like he drained a 30-footer to take the lead and like threw his arms in the air and like everyone went wild. It was just like, all right, cool. Now he has the lead.
You do know he made 5 straight birdies in a row on the back nine to take the lead, right?
Yeah, no, I do. I watched.
And he hit every putt.
Yeah.
So what do you mean he didn't hit a 30-footer to take the lead? He did hit a 30-footer to take the lead. I don't know how far it was.
Yeah, but there was no defining moment. Like if you ask, like if you
so you're talking like Fitzpatrick
months,
out of the bunker.
Yeah. Like there was no drama to it, right? Like, and I guess if you want to put that more on Rory, I think it's probably a better argument, right? Where, like you said, Cam Smith made 5 straight birdies and like
30 on the back.
Yeah, he did what he needed to do to win that tournament. And I think Rory is probably the one that's the bigger letdown. Like if Rory could have hit a putt, right? Like he had in the last like 5 holes, probably 3 putts that he missed by like a combined 6 inches.
He hit 18 greens and had 36 putts.
Yeah. He 2-putt every single hole. So, I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, couple things. Cam Smith on 17. I don't know what the fuck he did from the fairway, but that putt and then hitting. So the putt around the bunker and the putt to make par, that was huge.
Yeah, that was big.
Because if he doesn't make that, then
he would theoretically tie Cam Young after Cam Young's eagle.
And it might change the way Roars played 18. Because Roars could have bailed out right where Cam Smith did, knock it up there, probably have a pretty easy birdie. But instead, he had to play for eagle. So he tried to run it right at the pin because birdie didn't do anything for him. So
right.
You could argue that if Cam Smith doesn't get up and down on the road hole, then we could have almost had a 3-way playoff. Maybe.
Yeah.
And, but then after that, it's like, so 16 was a bitch of a hole.
Yeah.
So 16, 17 are super hard. 18's a joke. Everyone makes birdie there. So I don't know what the 15th hole is. I think 14 was the last par 5.
Yep. Yeah, 14's like the 605 yard par 5.
So I don't know. I think 15 just played kind of hard. 16 played hard. 17 played hard. So like the guys aren't going to make birdies there.
Right.
And Cam Smith had to hit that. I don't know. What was it? 12, 15 feet, something like that. Like he had to hit that putt or else we probably would have saw a playoff.
Right.
Now, I also don't trust that Cam Young would have actually eagled that hole, but
yeah, with the playoff on the line, would he still have made that putt? I don't know.
Or hit that tee shot. I don't know.
Yeah. So also too, like Rory, huge fucking letdown. Like
he didn't do anything.
He didn't do shit. Like, cool. He was bogey free. He shot a 70 on Sunday. Like, you can't be mad when the guy who won went out and shot 64 and the guy with the 54 hole lead shot a 70. Like you have to be better than that. Like, unless the only time that flies is when you have the 54 hole lead and you've got like a 6-shot lead.
Or you're playing
Then,
a US Open.
Yeah, then you can be ho-hum and shoot a 70 and walk your way to the fucking championship. Like, you cannot roll out there as the leader on Sunday and think like 70 will get it done today. Like,
no, he almost tried the Tiger approach.
Yeah.
Which is just let everyone else fuck it up. Except the only problem is you probably needed 68, not 70.
Yeah.
So, because that's like
what it's a couple more. If he was like aggressive on like a couple more holes on the front, right? Like if he had, I forget what holes he birdied. It was it 5 and 10?
Yeah, 10's a drivable 4.
But like if he had been a little bit more aggressive on 9 and 12, right? Those are both drivable par 4s. Like, I don't know. Like maybe you could have done something. Maybe you birdie one of them.
Yeah, I don't know what he hit though. Like, so I think for the most part he did hit driver, but he definitely didn't go at pins, which truthfully is the right strategy to not.
Right. Yeah, he did. He birdied 5 and 10. Great memory.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say like what could you have done more, because I think he did hit the driver. Maybe not well. I don't know. Like because I don't know how it went shot by shot. I just can't tell you.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you on 18, it was a major fucking letdown because he hits it further than most people on tour, right? He's probably top 5 in driving distance. And Cam Young gets his drive on 18 on the green. Like, guys are driving to the green, and Rory doesn't even make it over the fucking mounds. He doesn't even get into the Valley of Sin. Like, at least get there, right? Like, try and get the putt out of the Valley of Sin. Like, he left it short of the mounds and had like I think it was an 81-yard shot in that he needed to hole out for eagle. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you crushed the ball and you left it 81 yards short of the green. Like, that's what you needed. You stood on the tee box on 18, knowing that you needed an eagle to force a playoff. So you pull driver as a guy that hits it 320 regularly, and you leave it 81 yards short.
Yeah, the only hard part is like, so him and Cam Young, they basically hit at the same distance.
Yeah.
But the only thing with the 2 shots was Cam Young's was hit perfect.
Right.
Rory's was not.
Yeah.
And if we know anything about the driver's a shotgun. You can't just pretend it's a sniper rifle. So it's like,
yeah,
you can't dog him too hard, because the line he took, it needed to be perfect to get up to the pin.
Yep.
Whereas if you were, I guess from the camera angle, it's left, but if you're on the tee, it's right. But if you go right where you can't access the pin, yeah, he would have been right up there where Cam Smith was, because Cam Smith doesn't hit the ball super far.
Right.
So he didn't hit it good, but he made the play. Like that's what I mean. And it's like, I don't think he pulled it back. Like, Hovland was pulling it back all day. And it was like he hit driver all week and then decided to pull it back today. It's like,
yeah,
that wasn't it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Rory's an underwhelming golfer. He hasn't won a major in 8 years. He was 25 years old when he won his last one.
Yep.
Like, how long are we going to do this for? Like, every time?
Yeah. And I mean, he kind of faded away for a little while. I forget what years it was in particular, but like this year specifically,
he was top 8 in all 4.
Yeah. This year specifically, he had a really good year in the majors. So it's like, well, he can kind of still do it, but like, you know, how much more time now? We say how much more time does he have? And Tiger won the Masters at 45 years old, or 44, however old he was. But you know, I don't know how much time does he have really. Like,
Well, it's
does
not
he
even
have
about.
10? Does he have 10 good years?
I mean, he might listen. He could still sit here and win plenty.
Yeah.
But right now, the fucking guy that we've seen for the last 8 years, it just doesn't get it done.
Yeah.
And it's like he hasn't. And the way the media was so hyped up today,
Oh,
like
yeah.
everyone couldn't wait. They couldn't wait. Oh, Rory couldn't wait for Roars.
Oh, the fan favorite. Oh, he's the fan favorite. Oh, everyone loves him here and across the pond.
People talk about being like nervous for Rory tomorrow, pulling for Rory.
Yeah.
And what do you get? The exact same fucking thing you get all the time.
You get a bogey-free 70.
You get third. That's what you get. When you hitch your wagon to him, you get fucking top 10.
Yep.
Now, the way he does it is different. Now, the Sunday charge, that's usually what he does. But he was in it this time. I don't know, didn't get it done. It's like,
yeah.
That's why it's like I would have wanted Cam. The only reason I was even rooting against Cam Smith for a second was because I bet on that guy all year and didn't bet on him this week. You should, I would say, go to the Sarcasm Speaks Twitter. Go check what I said the day of the US Open final round. Go, I think I need a break from Xander and fucking Smith. And then they won 3 out of the 4 events. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, you've been on them all year.
All year with those two.
Yep.
And then I'm like, I think I need a break from them. Win, week off, win.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Shoffley off, Shoffley Smith. Yep. Pretty sick.
I'm telling you, it's like, the card of curses. It's like, that's what I call it. It's like, I'm not fucking kidding. I curse these guys.
Yeah. And the second you don't bet them, they win.
Yeah. Scotty Scheffler at the Masters. No one wins 4 before Augusta, including it. Sick.
Yep. Then he wins. And then he won again. Didn't
At
he
the
win?
Players?
No, Scheffler.
Oh, Scheffler. No, Scheffler's.
Didn't he win the Valspar? No, he lost the playoff
to Burns.
That's right.
No, Scheffler won 4, including Augusta. And Augusta was the 4th.
Yeah. He hasn't won since Augusta.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. He hasn't won in 3 months.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. Like, but the way he started out was like, holy shit.
He's been around too. Again, so he lost a playoff. He was kind of around in the US Open, kind of around
until the 11th hole.
Here.
He absolutely fucking shit himself on the 11th hole.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday, he was close.
Didn't he make 5? I think he made a 5 on 11.
On Saturday? Yeah, he did.
On Saturday. Yeah. So he was,
But he was still there on Sunday.
Yeah.
But fucking A. And then I saw the Cam Smith because I think he creeped all the way up to like 28-1. I was like, fuck, I want to take him. I'm like, this is a fucking waste again.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking waste.
But I mean, now you kind of know, right? Like with him, if it's going to come down to putting, right? Like all things considered, like if whatever the course is, if it comes down to putting, you might as well just take a flyer on Cam Smith, regardless of what he is on his odds.
Yeah, you got to be careful on that though, because it's not. So putting is why he won, but putting didn't dictate success this week. Did you see the guys that were also so Cam Smith was number 1. Do you see the other guys that were like top 5 in putting?
No,
nowhere to be found. And one guy's name, I don't even know who the fuck he is. Like honestly, he's like an Asian tour player. I have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
He was second in putting this week. So, and that's the thing with putting that kind of fucks you up is who the best player that putts the best generally will win, but it's so week to week.
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about that with Ian before, I think, right? Shout out to Ian, Bacon Bets podcast. But it's not the best putter. It's the best putter of the top players,
Yeah.
right? Whoever is
Like
there.
remember in that PGA, I'm sorry, the BMW I get with the playoff with Bryson where Patrick Cantlay just buried everything.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wow, what a great putter. He's not that good of a putter.
Right.
He just was the best putter on the planet that week.
Yeah.
And there's no other skill that's like that. Like if a guy's like 200th in approach game, he doesn't just show up and lead the field in approach. Like that just doesn't happen.
Right.
But putting's different because strokes gained is a weird stat because like Rory lost a ton of strokes putting, but he didn't three putt
Right.
at all today.
Right.
But he lost strokes to the field because he didn't make anything of length. So there could have been a guy that gained strokes on the field, but shot like 77 because of the length of putts you make. And that's how strokes gained is measured, which is why, like, obviously strokes gained total is a decent measure, but take someone like Zalator, we'll use him because he's a great approach player, or like even Morikawa. So if they hit a ball and they hit it to 4 feet, like strokes gained putting, that's only going to be, I don't know,
like next to nothing.
It's like a quarter of a stroke or something.
Yeah. Like they get strokes gained on the approach shot, but you get less.
You get way less for the putt. You would still get it for the putt.
Right.
And then like, let's say, so say that in a different round, one of them hits 7 approaches and they all go to 18 feet and you make 1 out of the 7. That's almost probably like a net neutral because I don't know, maybe 18 feet's too far. Maybe close. Maybe that would be more accurate for like 13 feet or 12 feet, where it's like you're sitting there stuffing it. But the probability of that going in is really only like 1 in 7. And I'm making these numbers up. These aren't real numbers. 8 feet, I know, is 50-50 for the PGA Tour.
Right.
So if you hit, say like you are just like absolutely striping the ball and you hit 10 balls to 8 feet and you make 5 of them, you will be neutral on strokes gained.
Right.
Putting, but your approach will be insane. So the putting one, no, the putting one's tough. And then it's like, again, there's so many different aspects that go into putting. You know, there are different grass types, there's different green types, there's different climates, like all that shit matters. So putting is so fucking variable. Never mind that 1 in 5 putts will go offline because of imperfections in the greens. So you can do everything that you want on a PGA Tour course, and there's a 20% chance that putt will be thrown offline just because of imperfections. Like that's so fucking variable.
Yeah. Yeah. Putting is such a shit show. Like anybody that actually golfs knows like that the putter is, it's the most frustrating. So I would say sometimes part of the game, because some days you can go out and like, I see this in my game and I'm not good. Like I'll go out and I'll hit, like if I just play 9, I might hit, no, let's use 18. So if I go out and play 18, I might have 6 1 putts. Like I might be like, holy shit, like I fucking crushed it. You know, I might end up with 14 putts on the day. Be like, this was lights out. Like putting was great. I still shoot a shitty score because it probably took me 5 strokes just to get on the green. But, you know, I might have like a really great putting day where I get out of there with like 14, 15 putts. And I'm like, oh, this is wild. But then I go out the next time and I might have like 22 putts.
And you might score better too.
And I'd score better. Right. So it's like, you know, it's such a weird part of the game.
Yeah. And then it's like little things. So I mean, you won't get it a ton, but like some of the tournaments I play, like my putting, I just suck at putting in tournaments, or I generally have bad putting days in tournaments. But it's also like I don't know these courses well enough. So like I don't know that I can't hit the ball where I'm hitting the ball sometimes.
You know, that's a big thing too that I just realized now that you say that. That I feel like that's a super underrated aspect of putting too, and just golf in general, is knowing the course.
Well, I'll give you two examples. So I played Wannamoisett in Rhode Island. Wannamoisett is a probably top 200 in the country. And it hosts one of the 7 best amateur events in the country. So it's as legit of a layout as like I can probably get on.
Mm-hmm.
So the 5th hole, I play my approach and I hit it to either 21 or 30 feet. I don't know. I back to back 3 putted. I think it was 30 feet. So 30 feet from where I was is actually a pretty good proximity. I hit it in the worst fucking possible place. Like I could not, like where the fuck I hit it, I could not have fucking hit it there.
Yeah.
So it's like I had to putt back. I couldn't stop it. Rolled like 7 feet down the hill, and then I didn't make the comebacker. So had I done 2 things. So I could have taken less club and either had the ball hit the front and roll up, or hit the front and not get on the green, and I would have been in a better position. Just because from long and right on that green, it would you just can't stop the putt like at all. And it was the same thing on the next hole. It was like I hit it to the right in front. It's like had I gone a little long, or had I gone a little left, or even short, it would have all of them would have been better options, except for completely where I was, and I was pin high on that one. So it's putting's hard because these guys don't do shit like that. Like they know if they were playing that 5th hole and they go long of the pin is dead, they would get the pin and say it was 126 up the hill. So I hit it. I go 126 up the hill. I'm like, all right, I can hit this because I know my pitching wedge is 129, and I have a launch monitor. That's why I know the numbers that specifically. So it's like, all right, so I know my pitching wedge is 129. This is playing about 5 yards up. So I can hit it about 130 and I should be fine. So I hit it, and I hit it well, and it went about 130, but it released all the way to the back. So I ended up actually hitting it probably closer to 140. And now I had to putt back. Whereas they would have saw that and went, all right, it's 126. And based on the way that this plays, I can't hit this ball more than 122. And my 52 degree goes 118. So I'm going to hit it 118. And like, that's the type of shit that they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's also their job. They get practice rounds and they have caddies.
Right.
We don't get shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, like you had said too, and we played last Friday, and on the 3rd green, without fail, right, I get up to putt and it just sweeps whatever, and then your putt, you were not that far away from me, and your putt was super close. Like I think you missed it by like a foot or 2. Yep. And I was like, oh, you motherfucker. And then you're like, yeah, I play this green all the time. And I'm like,
I've hit that putt about 1,000 times.
Yeah. And that's also what makes me remember too. Like when I play at Giaimo, like I can play those greens with my eyes closed. Like I know, like where the pin is cut. Like I know like where you gotta go and where you can hit it from, or like what the break is. Like I played a couple weeks ago with like a bunch of old ladies, middle-aged ladies, not old ladies. They're probably like 50s, 60s. All of them were terrible, but I played all right. Like I played fine. But when I got on the greens, like I was draining 1-putts left and right. I think I had 4 1-putts out of the 9 holes that I played. And they were like, oh my God, like they're like swooning over like, oh, you putt so good. Like you give putting lessons, whatever. And I go, no, like I just know these greens. I play here all the time. And they're like, oh yeah, we do too, but like we haven't figured that out. And I didn't want to be like, well, it's because you don't pay the fuck attention. But like it's not that hard, right? Like I know, like specifically on the ninth hole, like when they put the pin in the front left, like you can be short and you can be even off the green to the left and be fine. But if you go long at all, like you're fucked. And if you go to the right, you're flirting with the water hazard anyway, so you're probably fucked. Like you just learn that there's different areas of where it is and like what to do. Like it's not, obviously I'm not like, anywhere close to these guys, but it's one, like if I can do it on the course that's down the street from me, like you can see how these guys would be able to figure out, like you were saying, like, oh, it's 126, but I can't go more than 122. So I'm going to hit my 52. It's 118. Like, I just look at it like, oh, it's front left. So like I can be short and I can be left. So hopefully I'll just kind of aim that way and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Like it's, yeah. And obviously too, I play there all the time. So I basically hit the same club on most of the holes, right? Like I know on that ninth hole, like I'm most often going to hit an 8-iron, but if it's windy, I'll hit a 7-iron because for whatever reason, it's downhill and it looks like it plays short, but it really plays long and the wind's always a factor. And it's like, fuck off. But you just learn little shit like that. Like when you go around Sharon, like you just knock it around, like, the spots to be in, where not to be. So you just learn.
Yeah. And still can't execute sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, still can't figure it out.
Yeah. I know what I'm supposed to do. It's just whether I do it or not.
Yeah. Whether it actually executes. That's a whole other thing. But so then the other thing that's the big rumor on Twitter is Cam Smith to the LIV Tour. Now,
yeah,
I personally don't really give a shit.
I don't know how much fire there is to that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any, to be honest.
I think
it's just
Stenson's
a bullshit.
Going.
Yeah. Henrik Stenson announced he's going, and we talked about this maybe 2 episodes ago when I said there's rumors that a lot of people are going to bail after the Open because it's the last major and they didn't want to deal with, will they, won't they let them play and all that bullshit and all like the extra just shit, right? Like Ian Poulter stepped up to the tee on Thursday and got booed, like badly booed. So like there's rumors that like a lot of guys just didn't want to deal with the bullshit. So now that the Open is over, they're just going to bounce and go to LIV.
Yeah. So because we've heard Hideki.
Yep.
Heard Stenson. And the only reason Stenson matters is because he was the Ryder Cup captain for Europe.
Yeah. He hasn't been good in years.
No. So if he goes, then that just kind of, it's funny because I like the Ryder Cup.
I think this year or next year?
Next year.
It's odd years
in Italy. Yeah, it was even for a long time, and then COVID pushed it out.
Yeah.
So I like the Ryder Cup. Don't get me wrong, I do, but I think that the way some people hold this Ryder Cup thing, they're definitely overvaluing that a touch. Because it's like, oh, Stenson, the Ryder Cup captain. It's like, yeah, so
yeah, he's gonna go make $100 million.
Yeah.
Like if you were like, would you rather be the captain of the Ryder Cup or make $100 million? I'd be like, where do I sign on the dotted line?
Yeah. And it's like, I think too, a lot of like the media, because the predominant media in golf is obviously UK and USA. And they forget that some of these people aren't from those places. Yeah. So Henrik Stenson could be sitting there being like, what the fuck have you done for Sweden? And why should I give a shit?
Yeah.
Because you're also hearing the trio of Aussies now, Leishman, Scott, and Smith. And it's like, around here, it's like, oh my God, it's blood money. It's like, what has Saudi Arabia done for Australia? They're not fucking Americans. Remember that. Right. And I think a lot of people are forgetting this shit.
Yeah.
And
why did Adam Scott announce he's going?
No, but it's being rumored right now. I've been hearing all day. I've been hearing the three Australians, Hideki, speculation on Hovland.
Yeah.
But it's like this, see what Greg Norman's doing though the biggest name, I guess the two biggest names in Scandinavian golf is Victor Hovland and Henrik Stenson.
Yeah.
He's looking for a global product.
Right. Who's the biggest name in Japan?
Dude, he's like the biggest name in Asia.
Hideki Matsuyama. So it's like,
yeah, like you're getting like some of these people, and it's like, remember, some of your politics don't fucking matter anymore because you're pulling people from places that it really doesn't it does not matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you just said too, like the guys from Australia. Because what's the number one thing that everyone goes after? The Saudi government. Oh, they funded 9/11. Well, do you think anyone from Australia gives a fuck about 9/11? No. And truthfully, they probably shouldn't. Like, they have no right. They have no need to care. Like, do we, as Americans, do we give a shit about the Paris bombing that happened like a couple of years ago? I can't even tell you what fucking year it happened.
I don't even know. But even
like, it doesn't matter.
And then, so like, if the UK media really wants to give it to these Australians, if any of them had any balls, what would they turn around and say? How good were you? How good were you guys to us in the past?
Yeah,
we were your fucking jail.
Yeah.
You want to talk about government in politics?
Yeah,
we were your fucking prison.
Yep.
So
you sent your fucking worst people over here.
You want to talk fucking politics? Let's pull on that thread.
Yeah, exactly.
None of them will do that either, though, because that'll burn every fucking bridge. That would be sick, though, if one of them ever fucking said that.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point that you just made, though, about making it global, because he got Sergio, which I know Serge is old, but it's still Sergio. Like,
well, dude. So while we were on, John Rahm he came out and said, he goes, I want Serge on my Ryder Cup team. So like, let's fucking work something out here.
Yeah.
And there we go. Now, John Rahm, that's Spain.
Right.
That's not UK.
Right.
It's not UK and US.
Yeah.
Like, there's problems right now. And
yeah. And if Hovland does go, like I said, we talked about this a couple episodes ago, when the PGA is going to have a real problem is when they lose the young guys. And I said, I used Cam Young as an example. I said, if they lose the Cam Youngs, the Hovlands, and I even threw in, I think, Cam Tringali, but like, if they start losing the young guys, they're in some trouble, right? Like, the water is heating right now. Like, it's not quite boiling. It's not at boiling point, but that water is getting a little warmer. If Hideki goes and Stenson goes, and if Hovland does end up going, and now there's rumors with Adam Scott and Leishman already went, right? He's already
not yet. Not yet.
So it's like, like,
well, and they pulled that kid Chikara.
Oh yeah. That's right.
The amateur.
Yep. Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want, they ain't stupid.
No.
Greg Norman's also been fucking scheming this for like 30 years, but he's hated the PGA Tour for a long fucking time. So
the shock.
I don't know when those WGCs started, but before then it predates those. So he has hated them for a long time.
What's his beef with them? I don't know anything about that.
The WGCs was his idea, and they just fucking took it. Yep. He wanted a global series. Honestly, it was almost like if you took LIV in the WGCs and just mixed them, that's what Norman wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted a global, not really exhibition. He probably wanted more legitimate tournament like the WGC, but limited field, big money, higher payouts, no cuts. And he probably wanted to take it around the world, which the PGA Tour has failed to do.
Yeah. Dude, what do you mean? They go to Mexico?
Not anymore. Not the WGC.
Oh, it's not in Mexico anymore?
Nope. It's just like the Mexican Open or something.
Oh, wow.
And they did like Mexico and China. But the only reason they went to Mexico is because it used to be at Trump's place, but then Trump bad. So they went to Mexico.
Yeah.
Which I did think was pretty funny because it was actually about the wall.
Yeah.
He said some shit about the wall. PJ Tour didn't like that. So then they went to Mexico with the tournament. It's pretty petty. I
Oh,
like
wait, actually, Abraham Answer is on the LIV Tour.
He is Mexican. Carlos
Mexican.
Ortiz.
He's a younger guy too. Answer, I think, is only like what, 27?
Probably. Carlos Ortiz, I believe, is also Mexican. He went over.
Yeah.
You got the South Africans, like
Yeah. Eric Van Rooyen.
he hasn't gone yet, but Grace and Schwartzel have both won.
Yeah.
And Duplessis he's South African. He was second. Their team won.
Yeah.
Like
that's it. I did not even know that angle. That's really interesting.
that's because no one fucking pays attention to this shit. It's all and like the golf media is just so bad that they just don't even realize what's going on. They have no idea.
They're just mad because Saudi bad.
Yeah, or it threatens their tour. Or okay, listen, it does kind of suck. Like when we go to watch, like say the FedEx Cup, because it's still before football. Like it does kind of suck that it's Rory, JT, Rom.
Yeah,
Shoffley, but like there is enough, so it's like instead of having 30 good guys, you've got like 20 good guys. So I don't know. But I don't know. I think they're gonna have to fucking figure something out.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to. I think the next couple of weeks is going to be telling. Like if Cam Smith does go over, if Adam Scott, I know he's a little bit older, but if Hovland
they
goes,
love him, dude. They love him in Australia, and that's the thing that people are fucking forgetting, because if you have Victor Hovland, and I know he's like the only one, but if you have Victor Hovland, then you put an event in Norway.
Yeah.
And if you have the 3 Australians, then you go to Royal Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you right now, the Australians love Greg Norman. Dude, he is their guy.
Yeah.
Sure, some of them don't like him anymore, but like, dude, I'm telling you, he was the guy. If you bring an event there, they'll be there.
Yeah, that shit'll sell out.
They'll be there. So it's almost like taking the European tour and just, making it better.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, just making better fields for the European tour.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to watch. I think, I don't know if anyone, well, it could be like, I don't think Cam Smith, if he were going to go, would announce it this week. Like, I don't think, I don't think he would do it the week after.
He's going to need some time to sober up.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see he goes, I heard the claret jug can hold about 2 beers. So I think I'm going to be drinking about 20 claret jugs. So, yeah, but it'll be fun to follow. Interesting to watch.
I think the next event's in New Jersey. It's a little bit from now, though, I think.
Is that a Trump?
Yeah, it's a Trumper.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's they're like bunched together in the schedule. There was like the 2, right? There was the London one, and then Portland were like 2 weeks apart or something.
Yeah, the US Open was in between them.
Then there was a break, and then it's the one in New Jersey, and then it's at the International in Bolton. Yep. And then there's another one, I think, the week after. Like there was the 3 like in a row, and then there's another break, and then it's because I was looking at the schedule and I was like, that's kind of weird. There's like 2 and then 3 and then 2 but well, before we wrap this up, I guess we had Giaimo's wedding on Friday. That was fun from what I remember.
Oh yeah, lights went out for you?
No, I actually kept it together pretty good. I didn't drink at all before we got there.
Yeah, I didn't get too banged up. I mean, my head hurt the next day, but
yeah,
I remember leaving. We went to the after party. I remember being out there.
How was that? Did it end up being any good?
I mean, we just sat outside and smoked cigars and stuff,
Oh, okay.
and people were taking drinks outside, even though you're definitely not supposed to. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was fine.
Yeah. Elegant would be one way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the fucking mansions.
Yeah, way fancier than anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah, I'm usually not allowed in places like that.
I was gonna say that too. Normally, people like us aren't allowed there unless we're like working.
Yeah,
We're there for work.
yeah, grab a lawnmower.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah,
hey,
just
you're already
covering
wearing
the
a suit.
bar.
You want to park some cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, sir. Got a
I
hat
mean,
for me?
I think the only gripe that was like around from everybody was there was only one bartender. Like it's almost like, so it's funny, right? Because it's a super elegant place and very nice and very fancy and all that shit. And it's like obviously the crowd of people that were there, like predominantly from Medford, and we're all shitbags. Like anyone
Yep.
from Medford's basically a piece of shit.
Yep.
And literally one bartender at each. There were two bars, right? So there were two tables of bars, but there was just one bartender at each one, and I think they were both ridiculously overwhelmed by the amount of alcohol that was being consumed. We drank them out of a few bottles. I remember at the end of the night before we left for the after party, they ran out of Captain Morgan.
Yep.
They ran out of Tito's. Maybe also Tanqueray. I could have just made that one up, but there was like a couple things that they just like ran out of. They were like, yeah, we don't have anymore.
Yeah. No, they were. So I'm assuming that that's an external catering company.
Yeah.
So I also think for the wedding, that like, all right, we'll set up two. It's like, hey, you can pour a drink, right? Yeah. How hard can it be? And it's like, you can tell that these people were not bartenders by trade.
Yeah. The guy was like chatting people up, like, oh, hey, how's it going? Whatever. And there's like people in line being like, is this guy fucking serious?
Well, and again, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Just pour the drinks faster.
Yeah, exactly.
For the fuck's sake. That's all you have to do. Just pour them faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think to like our random haunts, like at least like the like when we used to go to the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if that woman Michelle was slinging drinks, they would be out so fucking fast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you can almost tell that like when they have, and this isn't just this one wedding, this is like weddings in general. And when you don't have like bartenders by trade,
correct. Yeah.
You have issues at the bar.
Yeah, I feel like this isn't the first time I've ever encountered this either. I feel like it's a pretty common thing at weddings and at like functions, right? Because you have, and I think
it's when you have, and you can tell when there's a temporary bar, you're gonna have problems.
Yes, absolutely.
Every time I've seen a temporary bar, I've always had issues.
Yeah. When
we went to the wedding in New Jersey, and it was at some country club, whatever the fuck, massive bar. Like this is the bar for the place. And like, this is the room where it's just a bar.
Yeah.
And there were like fucking 6 people working behind there, like 4, 6 bartenders, something like that. Like shit was coming out so fucking fast.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the difference, because those guys, I think they were all guys.
They're
like,
bartenders.
They're bartenders by trade at this place here. Like with this, like this is their equipment, their setup, everything.
Right.
Like they're used to doing that. So there were no like after the immediate rush, there were no lines all night.
Yeah.
And that's what, but like you don't get that very often.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost the exception.
Yeah, because even Bill's wedding was temporary bars, right?
Yep. And those lines were long too.
Yep. Trying to think. I don't even know how many weddings I've been to. That's 3 this year. So I think it is the exception to have a site that has like the bar
Right.
with the staff at that facility. Now, I will say, I don't know the arrangement. I do know the one we went to in New Jersey. Like when you choose that venue, they handle the food in house, they handle the worker, they handle all that.
Right.
I want to think that for this mansion, you had to bring your own in.
I would imagine so, probably.
So it's like, again, it's not their place, it's not their staff. Now maybe they do a few per year, or that's like a preferred vendor or something. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. You can tell the difference when you have a career bartender and when you don't.
Yeah.
It just does not move.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got
a lot of drunks that are just angry.
Yeah. And then it's like, you're in line for long enough. We were sitting there and we are like, should we just get fucking 4 each?
Yeah.
Which they wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have been able to carry, but.
Which I think they would have, because I think Bill ordered 4 drinks.
Okay.
It was after us. I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to also just walk up to him and be like, what's the maximum amount of drinks you could pour me? Because then also that almost like makes it known, right? And it puts like an explicit limit on it. Whereas like if you just go up and order 4, it's kind of like it's a snap decision for him. He can either make you 4 or say no. But if you go like, what's the maximum I can order? He can then be like, oh, you 2.
Well, it's also like a little bit
stuck to that.
It's also a little bit situationally. So like when we went to Boston one night, Vinny was up at the bar and it was taking a while to get out there.
Yeah.
So it was like, I think I asked him for a nooner. Giaimo asked him for like a beer, whatever. So he gives Giaimo 2 beers. He gives me 2 more nooners, and I'm in the middle of drinking one. He gives Jared 2 more nooners. Like he just ordered almost like the next hour and a half of everyone's drinking in one. He goes, I figured it was taking too long, so I just did this. So it's like he must have ordered like fucking 12 to 14 drinks.
Yeah.
So it's like it's one of those where, if the bartender sees you like passing everything on, fine. But it's like, how many can I get? And it's like, well, I don't know, 2.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, all right, can I get 2 of these, 2 of that, 2 of this?
Right.
Then it's like, oh, and then you start passing it on and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like as soon as you ask, it makes it explicit.
Yeah.
So you're better off just kind of like saying a number.
Also,
unless you're at the beach in New Orleans, then you have to get 3
in multiples of 3
or 6 or 9 or 27.
Also, there's no need to fucking pour beer into like stemless wine glasses. That was a waste of time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just pass the fucking can out.
Yeah. It was some, what regulation.
How the fuck is that a regulation? What the fuck regulation is that?
In one of the multiple conversations that the bartender was having with people, I heard him mention that it's something to do with regulation. I don't know if it was the state or if it was just the mansion. It's like, which I could see.
It would be just
right?
the mansion.
It's the mansion, so they don't want like crushed cans like kicking around their grounds. Like I can understand from that point of view.
Okay, cool. So I'll just smash this glass instead.
Exactly. Like just give me a plastic cup then. Like you don't need to give me a wine glass full of beer.
So dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not an uncommon theme. I know the Cunty Chris's wedding was very, very backed up. Because it's like, I don't know how you tell like whoever's gonna do like the food and beverage. It's like, hey, listen, there are a lot of drunks coming to this thing. It's like, no, we know we do wedding. It's like, you know what?
Yeah, I don't think you do.
Because I've been to a bunch and this seems to be pretty common.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, we hear it all the time.
Listen, we know we've been doing weddings for a while. Okay, well, I've been to only a handful and the same issue seems to come up every fucking time.
Yeah. So maybe get an extra bartender too.
So like, what do you want to do here?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're doing a giant fucking pool. We're not a giant pool, but like we got like a dog pool that Pickett uses to hang out. I think we might just fill it with ice and throw some drinks in it. we got a big cooler in the basement. Fill
Yeah,
that
it's a
up.
good idea because Pickett isn't going to end up just fucking jumping around in it.
Yeah. No, the ice is too cold.
If it's hot enough, she'll be in there.
Yeah. Well, I know that's the one thing about middle of September. It could be 90 or it could be 30. We don't know. It's literally a flip of a coin.
Somewhere in
in
between.
You would hope it falls somewhere in between, but you don't know. Yeah, and it's literally going to be like, just take your own drink, which obviously you can get away with a lot more in the fucking backyard than you can at a legitimate venue. But that's how we are going to try and curb the inevitable bar backup at weddings.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Vinny will come locked and loaded with a cooler.
Oh, I hope so. He
Yeah,
doesn't travel anywhere without it.
Yeah, that's what he does.
It's his emotional support cooler. All right. Anything else on that? I mean, I feel like it went quick.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 6:30 tip off.
And we were kicked out at what, 10:30?
10:50, I believe.
Yeah.
It's like by 11. It's not that long.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal was for Bill's wedding.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I feel like I've had a lot of like 5 o'clock starts.
Yeah.
11 o'clock finish.
Yeah.
Hour and a half less.
I think the best part or the funniest part was that we were in the kids' room.
Yeah. Whatever. You don't need to put me in the main house.
We were in the carriage house.
Yeah, I don't need to be. I don't need to. There's people who actually cared a lot more about like what was actually happening.
Yeah,
and they can sit in the main house.
Yeah, you're good. But it was funny because I would say more than 50% of that room was all like people our age from Medford.
Yep. Well, dude, it's like
just funny.
Well, you're obviously gonna prioritize the family first.
Right. Yeah.
Like again, the ones that actually care.
Yeah. But
yeah, whatever.
You want to wrap this up?
We can wrap this up. So speaking of emotional support, I think it was like a flight. I don't know. I sent it to you guys. It was like a flight or something, and someone wanted to bring their emotional support turkey on the plane. And I find a turkey to be a bottom 5 emotional support animal. So I'm trying to think what would be the power rankings for worst emotional support animal.
Shark. It's got to be on there.
Oh, well, a fish can't. No, we can't. Like you can't. Like,
dude, it's 2022.
Where are you
someone literally
tried?
Fish? Someone literally tried to claim an emotional support turkey. Like there is someone that exists in the world that claims that they have an emotional support fish.
But a fish, okay. A shark though, if you, because I was gonna say how does a shark become mobile? Because if it's gonna be an emotional support animal, it's got to come with you.
Yeah.
So how does a shark mobilize?
Baby shark.
Sand shark.
Yeah. Lemon sharks.
Because I was gonna say, like, if you want to say it's a goldfish, I guess you could put it in a bag and carry it with you, like whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but like,
so I guess we should qualify the worst land dwelling emotional animals because my first thought when you said the worst things, I go literally anything that lives in water. Because it's not like an emotion, even like a dolphin.
Because you can't mobilize. Okay.
Like an emotional support dolphin, like that's bullshit. Like that's horseshit.
Terrible. They're terrible people.
Yeah, dolphins are terrible people.
Yeah, so it can't be a fish or an ocean dweller.
Nothing because dwells in water.
They can't mobilize, so it takes away some of the emotional support aspects of the animal.
Right.
So I mean, I also would like to rule out anything that can kill you within seconds. So like a rattlesnake, like I'd like to leave rattlesnake out of the equation because obviously that's stupid because if it bites you, you're dead.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm trying to think like if you had a monkey, like it could kill you, but it might not.
Yeah.
Like a rattlesnake's going to.
Or a chimp.
Yeah. Whatever.
Monkeys are just gonna throw their shit at you.
Okay, fine. But like,
They're
like
little,
a, like
little
a,
fucks.
a rattlesnake will kill you.
Yeah.
A chimp
Basically
might
any
not.
reptile. Reptiles are so fucking old. They don't give a fuck, right?
Sick
Like
of
they're
your
like,
shit.
yeah, like you hear the stories all the time, right? Like someone had a pet snake for like 7 years and then it got escaped and fucking strangled them and they died. It's like that snake does not give one fuck about the last 7 years that you've kept it fed. It's like, hey, I'm a snake, so I'm gonna kill shit because that's what I do. Like any reptile, terrible.
Yeah. Because actually, I guess we can go with, because you can go with any snake, because like even like a boa, like,
yeah,
again, it can kill you, but it's not like a rattler where if it bites you, or like a scorpion, which is an insect or whatever.
You know what would be fun? I think a
But I'm
scorpion
thinking,
might actually be an arachnid. If we want to get down the entomology wormhole.
I don't actually. Plus, I'm not going to get into facts now.
Yeah. I think what would be fun is to get like a rattlesnake or like a super aggressive snake and defang it, or like do whatever it's called when they pull the venom sacs out of their mouth. Because then you can literally just stand there and let it bite you. And like, it'll probably still hurt, right? Like if it punctures the skin, but like, you know, you're not going to die and be like, oh, you're a bitch. You can't even kill me.
I got to be honest. That doesn't sound fun at all.
No, probably not.
Because then that thing's going to be sitting there thinking, how else can I kill this fucking guy?
This asshole.
Yeah.
It just regrows venom sacs.
Or find something else.
Yeah.
Bites you with Clorox.
Have you seen the video of the dog that runs around with the fucking massive knife in its mouth?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't there like there's something where it's like the chances of a golden retriever killing you are like
are
almost
super
nothing,
low,
but it's not
never
zero.
Yeah.
It's a golden retriever with a knife. Yeah, I'm thinking any bird is awful. Yep. They're loud,
they're dirty, they're
annoying,
they smell,
they're gross, they smell, which means any rodent would also fit that.
Yep.
Because like even though they're not as loud, they like scratch and chew and whatever.
Yeah, and ferrets are disgusting. They smell
nasty.
They smell so fucking
nasty.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah, any rodent, any bird. I think a chimp would be a bad idea because they'll turn on you.
Yeah, chimp will quite literally rip your face off.
Yeah.
It's done it before. Chimps have ripped people's faces off before.
Yeah, just like out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
Unless you
Which is kind of interesting. Like, where do you grab to like rip a face? Do you think they just like grab the cheek and then just rip?
Whatever they can get.
Like, that's impressive to rip someone's face off.
Pretty brutal if you think about it.
Yeah, that's a pretty fucking shitty way to die. I'd
say a bear. Bear's not a good emotional support animal.
Yeah, probably not.
They can maul you to death.
Yeah.
Anything with hooves. My hooves, because they can fucking hoove you.
Yeah, and if you follow, I don't know, one of those books, I don't know whether it's the Bible or the Quran or probably both. You're not supposed to, deal with anything with cloven hooves anyway. So, because it's the devil. That's why Muslims don't eat pork. No, that's why Jews don't eat pork, I think, right? It's the Jews and pork, and Muslims and cows.
Because pigs have hooves?
They have cloven hooves. It's the sign of Satan.
Is it clove and hooves or cloven hooves?
Cloven, like CLOVEN, cloven.
So it's an adjective.
It's an adjective to describe the hoof. Yes.
My hooves.
My hooves. Yeah. If it has cloven hooves, you're not allowed to eat it because it's a sign of Satan.
So that's why the Jews don't eat pork.
Yeah.
Unless it's blessed by a rabbi.
Something like that.
And I thought the Muslims didn't eat cows because they worship cows, or is that just India?
I think that's just India.
You know what's funny? So I know we talked about this, and we're way away from the emotional support animal, whatever. Fuck it. Just get a labradoodle. They're fine.
Yeah. Dude, just get a dog.
Just get a dog.
You need an emotional support animal. Get
it's
a fucking dog.
And if you're not going to get a dog, then don't get an emotional support animal.
Yeah.
It's actually very simple.
Right.
And I don't want to hear cats, Jones. They're plotting your murder.
Yes.
So I ended up watching the whole season of Miss Marvel.
Okay.
Nope. Is that what it is? Yes.
Yeah.
And then the movie that's coming out is The Marvels. Okay. So Miss Marvel, I ended up watching it. Dude, it's like definition superhero origin story. It's fucking fine.
Yeah.
But they actually go into a little bit of the history of like the India-Pakistan partition thing.
Where they dance, they have the dance off.
No, they have a dance off at a wedding.
No, it's to mimic the India Pakistan, like at the border of India and Pakistan, they dance fight. They did a whole episode of Always Sunny on that.
Okay. So when England decided to stop owning those two territories, which it was India, Pakistan, and then it includes now Bangladesh.
Yeah.
I think it was just India, Pakistan back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like the big thing was all of the Muslims went to Pakistan.
Yeah. And the Hindus stayed
in India. But it's like, it was like closer to the border. Like if you were close to the border, like you made your way over. And like that was like part of the timeline. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. I do a little bit about that.
So I was like, I don't know if that has anything to do with the cows. I don't know.
Yeah. It could be.
The cow aspect didn't come up in the superhero show.
Well, we've talked a little bit about this before, but all of those like religious texts, when they talk about things like not to do, there actually is like a legitimate like theory behind it. It's just portrayed as like some bullshit story, right? So like Jews don't eat pork because of cloven hooves. That is the sign of Satan. Well, realistically, and from a biological standpoint, pigs carry trichinosis, which is a disease that can kill you. I don't know if it's a virus or a bacteria.
People probably ate pig back in the day,
and they made
sick,
up this.
Died.
Yes, yeah. And then the whole thing with cows, like people would eat cows. And remember, this is like thousands of years ago, so we don't have like, it's not like you can like cut up cut the ribeye up, throw it in the fridge, and then cook it whenever you want it. So like, if you even had an option to cook it, right? So like if you eat some of this shit and you get sick from it, and enough people get sick from it, then they're like, what's the devil? it's like not Billy Madison, it's the water boy. It's the water boy all over. Like something bad happens,
is the devil.
It's the devil. It's, oh my god, they died, the whole town died from eating pig. It's the devil. You know, it's like, oh, cows, you die when you eat them. It's the devil. It's because they're sacred. We need to not eat them. And like the whole thing about why the Bible hates gay people or like talks shit about gay people is because it's not a good way to move forward with generations, right? Like,
yeah, because
again, this is thousands of years ago, right? So if the thought is, you know, if everyone's okay with this, then that means there's a potential for the human race to die out, because if enough people are gay, the only way you can reproduce obviously is heterosexually. I don't give a fuck. At 2022, men cannot get pregnant, fuck off. But it's, if the only way you can reproduce is heterosexually, then homosexuality would be detrimental to the moving forward of the race, right? So like that's where that comes from. So it's all like you can pick and pull, and I've done this, and I haven't done like a deep dive, but I've done it a little bit, and I've heard a lot of way smarter people than me talk about it, where you can look through the religious texts and like apply science to like the stupid shit that it says, right? And like even the whole thing about the burning bush, right? Like Moses sees the burning bush and hears God and goes and finds these tablets. Or was that Joseph Smith? I don't know.
Joseph Smith found the tablets.
Yeah. But
see,
Moses found the 10 Commandments after he got high. But they said the burning bush, and he heard God's voice in the burning bush. Well, that region of the world has acacia trees and when acacia is burnt, it gives off DMT.
Oh, so you hallucinate.
So if you're close enough to the bush that's on fire, it might have been a literal bush that was on fire, but he might have breathed in DMT and was fucking tripping balls. Like there's all kinds of crazy things that can explain all of this stuff. And I mean, I think it's fascinating, but like there's a lot of science behind it.
So Spencer's episode with Gene actually said a very interesting point, because I think Spencer asked him, it's like, oh, so you hate gay people, right? He goes, no, I don't hate gay people. He goes, remember, he goes, what gay people do that's against his beliefs in religion is that sex is supposed to serve for procreation. He goes, if you are gay and you have sex, you can't procreate. Right. He goes, so that's a problem. He goes, and I don't know if he said this, but this could be my interpretation. I don't know. I listened to it a wicked long time ago, because I think he said the same thing. He goes, anyone who has sex and isn't trying to actively procreate is theoretically sinning.
Right.
He goes, and that's not what I believe in. He goes, so you can be gay, whatever you want.
Yeah.
He goes, it's not until you act in sin where I start to have an issue. And I'm like, listen, I don't agree with you, but that's a very, very fair point.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot more thought out, right, than most people.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's fair, because if you want to be gay, cool.
Right.
If you want to be heterosexual, cool. Anyone who has sex without looking to procreate is sinning in the eyes of his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I don't agree.
Right.
But it's fair.
But that at least, like, I can understand the logic behind that.
Correct. And I would also say that society has advanced a little bit, and sex doesn't only serve to procreate. But again, that's why I disagree.
Right.
Not that it's not a fair point.
Right.
Well, it's unfair because it's not what I believe in.
Yeah. Yeah. So we should get him on. We should get Gene on. That would be fun.
I don't know. That would be something.
Start hitting them with religion, like the science-based shit behind it. No. Like I said, with like the acacia thing and
thoughts.
It's funny. Obviously, I used to work with him. I had a lot of conversations with him about stuff like that. He was also, I think he's also a vegan or vegetarian or something like that, and like had this whole big thing because everyone in the office watched What the Health, I think it was.
Was that the one that opened about the hot dog? And I thought, and the guy's like, we grew up eating hot dogs and I never knew it was so bad for me, whatever. And I'm like waiting for the punchline, and the punchline never came. Like, oh my God, this guy's serious. And I stopped watching.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the one.
Okay.
When they try and tell you that, was it eating a cheeseburger is like smoking 7 cigarettes or something like that. And it's like, what the fuck?
Eating eggs was bad, was like smoking cigarettes at one point. I remember that.
Yeah. And now it's good for you. So, whatever.
Which one? Smoking cigarettes?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Where's the government going? Where's the money going? Because they banned Juul, but everyone else is fine.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? Oh, like I had the conversations with him about like, just like diet and like dumb shit like that too. Where he's like, oh yeah, but like meat's bad for you. I'm like, well, not really. Like, obviously too much of anything is bad. But like you need a
gluttony. That's
that's a sin. You need variation. Like you need all of it. Like you can't just eat meat. You can't just eat vegetables. Like you got to eat both. Right. And it's like, I don't know. It's the conversations I used to have with people when I worked there. They were like, oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Like, yeah, I know it does. Cause this is what I went to school for. I don't watch Netflix documentaries and then decide to change my entire life based off of one Netflix documentary.
I saw one on being a serial killer and I figured out how to do it the right way. So I'm going to go be a serial killer. Yeah. It's preposterous what people fucking do.
Yeah, exactly. So, I watched Dexter. So I'm going to just start killing bad people.
Yeah, I know how to do it. I know how to do it the right. I'm fairly confident on how to murder.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So emotional support animals, just get a dog. Got it.
Somehow we went from emotional support animals to fucking Moses getting fucking fucked up.
Yeah, Moses doing DMT.
off the burning bush. That could be the episode title. Remember that time Moses did DMT?
Yeah. I like that. So my final thought, in the midst of, just being general anger about the current climate of the world, we should, now that I'm looking at the Twitter thing in our group thing, I saw Vinny responded. We should actually try and have like Vinny and Finn on too. Now that we're just like pretty basically only Zoom, like we should just be like, fuck, just come in, like let's just talk shit. But
they won't, but anyway.
Yeah. So I sent this to you guys, but this tweet, I'm just going to read the tweet really quick and then I'll read the screenshot. So it is from Christina Buttons. Don't know who this is, but
is that blue check mark?
No blue check mark. But it's got like 2,000 likes. Let's see how many followers she has. Oh, she has like 12,000 followers. So whatever. So her tweet is a screenshot and then there's text. So I'll read the text first. This parent is seeking a gynecologist for their non-binary teen, but is worried that since most offices focus on, quote, women's health, they will be unable to provide proper care for her non-binary female anatomy. So now the screenshot from what seems like a Facebook group that she's in.
It's got to be a Facebook group.
So this is from the group member. How did you find a gynecologist for your non-binary teen? Most offices I've seen focus on, here we go again, quote, women's care and how they treat, quote, women's health. Are there ways to find more non-binary friendly environments? I tried doing searches on Google, but I'm coming up short. So what the fuck are we actually trying to do here?
Probably trying to walk into an office where a fucking traffic cone is gonna like do the exam or something, like any inanimate object.
Yeah. So obviously, because one of my favorite things to do is read the comments. Some of them are pretty great. Like one person goes, "What the fuck does this even mean?" And the Christina Buttons lady replied and goes, "It means they want their special child to have special treatment because they're so damn special." But like, so this other guy goes, "What are non-binary genitalia like?"
Oh, this is the person that's going like front hole and whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Like that's the response, I guess. Like now whether this random Twitter user is correct or not, I'm not going to fact check that. I would never do such a thing. But I guess like in the non-binary world, they just call it like front hole. Like they don't call things by names.
It's absolutely retarded because now that makes sense because I've heard people say pregnant person or person with pregnant capability or something like that. Like they don't say like mother. It's like, oh, it's a child birther. Yeah. It's like, yeah. Dude, we are so fucking bored and we have nothing better to do now than to just make up words and rename things. Like, you can't say the word mother. You have to say child birther.
I would actually gently recommend that most of these people just lick my back hole.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. How about you get a fucking job? Like, no,
or a hobby.
Or something. Literally anything. So my, I just saw they say front hole instead of vagina. That's pretty funny. Someone goes, basically, I need a doctor who will not confound the fiction we are spinning with too much technical language. So my question is actually a legitimate question. If you're looking for a gynecologist for a non-binary teen, is it a vagina having non-binary person, or is it a penis having non-binary person?
It's called front hole and front stick.
But like, I kind of need to know, because that makes this a little bit better, because I'm hoping that it's a penis having non-binary person and this mother needs a gynecologist, because you need both, right? Like if they're non-binary, like they need to go to the gynecologist as well as the proctologist, like, because they're non-binary. So they need, like, I really fucking hope that that's the case. Like, I hope it's a penis having non-binary person that this mother is trying to help find a gynecologist for, because that would be truly be the icing on the fucking cake, where I would love nothing more than to stand on my front lawn and scream and pray for a fucking asteroid to hit me directly, right? Like that's cool. We could get a big enough asteroid that's the world ender, right? But I just want it to hit me directly.
Yeah, golf ball size one that's coming in hard enough is fine.
Yeah, like I need it to hit me, because if that's where we're at, where we have a penis having non-binary person that needs a gynecologist, like I need that asteroid, like I need fucking water. Like it's got to be big, and it's got to be fast, and it's got to explode fucking everything. And please hit me first. Take me first.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like it's crazy to know that they have like this different anatomy that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
That's
right?
super interesting.
Imagine that. I need a gynecologist that doesn't focus on women's health. Do you know what a gynecologist is?
Someone like broke down the actual word. I'm sorry, not the world, the word.
Yeah, like the etymology of the word gynecology.
And I believe it's study of.
It's one who studies vaginas. Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yep. And women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's women. I think because misogyny, like I think the Ginny, like GNY, is female. Right, because misogyny is like the mistreatment of women.
Yep.
So gynecology would be the study of women.
I did see in the comments someone was like, they probably just need a gynecologist.
I love the internet so much as I hate it because of people that exist like that woman. I love it for the people that are in the comments.
Yeah, well, for every stupid post, there's like, because that's the thing is like, you can either have a funny post with annoying comments, or you can have an annoying post with lights out comments.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. And then occasionally you get someone like a 3-year Letterman where you get both.
Yeah.
Or who's the guy? Owen? No, Ned, Owen's grandpa.
No, Ned was different. He was Respect the Feed.
Okay.
Walter was Owen's grandpa.
Walter, in parentheses, Owen's grandpa.
But it was like too many characters, so it didn't fit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Walter. Is he on here?
Maybe he died. I don't know. Let's see. Walter, Owen's grandpa. Yeah, it's cut off. There's too many characters.
Obamacare made my grandson gay. Owen is my grandson. I am his grandpa.
Oh man, this is great. That's awesome. There's a lot of really good shit in there. I highly recommend to go on Twitter and look up Walter Owens Gramp, because it runs out of characters, which is hilarious. Yeah, so that's all I got. That was my final thought. We are fucking spiraling downward into hell. So I guess we'll find out whether or not Satan actually does have cloven hooves, or it was just trichinosis after all. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, make sure you give this a thumbs up, like, rate, subscribe, review wherever you are. If you're an audio only guy, subscribe there too. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. The Twitter is sarcasm_speaks. While you're looking up Owen's grandpa, you can go there and you can find us, follow us, give us a follow. What else are we on? Facebook, Sarcasm Speaks. The website is sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. Go to grillyourassoff.com, buy the goddamn best seasoning and anything that has to do with grilling and food and apparel and all that. Use the promo code SarcasmPod to get 10% off your entire order over there at grillyourassoff.com. And also use the same promo code SarcasmPod at mybookie.com when you go and bet on Cam Smith and Xander Schauffele again, because, you know, we curse them. Well, I guess more so.
I'm currently on a break from cursing them.
Yeah. And then they will also double your first deposit up to $1,000 over there at mybookie.com. So again, promo code SarcasmPod on both of those websites will get you all the deals. So until next time, good night, everybody.